Iron is at the heart of every Minecraft. Early game tools, redstone components, or pretty blocks. Iron is always in high demand and all made possible by these busy workers who have no breaks, live in their 3x3 cubicle forever, never seen the outside world, never knowing leisure. They live to produce, all for the sake of efficiency, all for labor that they'll never see the fruits of. We won't be doing any of that today. Here we believe in workers' rights, so we're gonna make an iron farm where the workers can roam around, have a life outside of work, and will just be as efficient as this corporate cubicle. P.S. Play however you want. This is a sandbox game. This is just an added challenge for me since I've built so many iron farms, they're starting to all look the same. To make an iron farm, we need iron to spend, so back to the mines. We're also grabbing some copper while we're down here. What? I've never gotten that. What does that mean? Is that a new achievement? Because I've never gotten that before. I definitely sniped a skeleton like that before, so I don't know. Technically, we could just create a simple iron farm right here, right now with the materials we just gathered. But I actually have a full build planned out in a creator test world. And while we're not going to recreate it exactly one for one, we do have a bit of a shopping list for today. Side note, I did forget to make a locked map at the end of episode 1. And since episode 2 only had this nether portal, we can very quickly tear it down and recreate episode 1's map. And now we're ready for a new map update at the end of this episode. Oh, there are 2 of you. Oops, looks like they left you behind. Maybe we could try talking to her? What's your name? Hi, Susan. Oh, Susan's still out for blood. Maybe we let her cool down for a bit. And temporarily, we're just gonna stick some bamboo over here so we can just let it grow. These things are weeds in real life, and they grow like it in Minecraft. We'll make a quick bee farm to collect some beeswax. This farm is from the Minecraft wiki. I didn't design it, but it's simple and optimized enough that it's not worth doing anything else. No blaze farm today. We already have 1 farm I'm glossing over. We're not doing 2, so beat them up and go. Although this does look like they're already pretty enclosed, so it's almost like a poorly built farm already. Now, I might do something a little risky. I know I could have piglin traded for this crispy ghast, but I prefer to find them in the nether, at least the very first one I grabbed. Look, their lore is sad and it compels me. Who let you in? Security? Okay, now they chose just trespassing. What? What? There's another one? Why are you with my animals? What is this? Oh, well, I might end up killing some animals I don't want to. We're still in Mounts of Mayhem right now, so name tags are still rare, but next episode will be updated to Tiny Takeover, so feel free to drop some name suggestions for the baby ghast in the comments, because otherwise I will just use my default name for these guys, which is Snowball. We've had a birth. My sweet baby, TBD. Yeah, we'll put you right here next to the house for now. You should be pretty safe. We'll age some copper, so let's space them out 5 blocks away from each other to speed that up. We're gonna need a lot of wood today, including one of my favorites, warped wood. Look, it's the closest thing we have to blue wood right now. Considering we need 8 stacks of these and we have this much of wart, I might want to go back to the nether. Also, is it just me, or are warped forests the rarest nether biome? Maybe it's because I'm constantly looking for them, so I'm noticing their absence more. But at the same time, I think I've seen about 8 crimson forests before I see 1 warped forest in most worlds I make, so... You know, I just realized. That I had that off in the nether. Smart move on my part. It's a good thing I saw the ghast. Oh no. Where are you? Is that the one that's been firing at me? don't want to go get that gas tier. Oh my gosh, it went into the lava. That sucks. Magma cube. I would like to get a little magma cream so I can make some more fire res. Magma cubes are a bit deadly because they don't have an attack cooldown, so they can just spam their attacks. Oh, we do have a basalt delta here. Okay, we have basalt delta. Interesting. Where'd the magma cubes go? I just want, like, if I can just attack one magma cube and get some magma cream, I'd be down. Aww, I didn't know the zombified piglins could be chicken jockeys. I guess that makes sense, since technically they're zombies. I wonder if they dropped the music disc too? That's pretty cool that there's just like a little chicken jockey here. I don't have a name tag, otherwise I try to like... Oh! Oh. Oh no. You keep getting hit with suffocation damage. Oh, it's so sad. Maybe... Okay. Oh! Oh! The chicken just killed you! Oh, that's so sad. I didn't do it. The chicken did it. We are so off topic of where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be collecting wood. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a really easy place to grab it, but oh, it's just over lava, and that makes me so nervous. Being over lava like that just makes me so nervous. Oh, nope, blaze. Nope, Is that another one? I didn't realize these were so common, or this must... Okay. The chickens are just trying to kill the babies. I just saw another one do it. There's a conspiracy here. Okay, I'm going back to my original plan, which was warped wood, because I'm not seeing any magma cubes that I can get within a safe distance. So, back to wood, focus up. I think what I've just learned is that zombified piglin children have no control over their mounts. They're just stuck on the ride trying to exist. So I guess that explains how that hoglin last episode was still, like, that baby hoglin was still able to, like, attack me with a normal piglin on it, maybe? I don't know. Nope, I'm just not aiming this one that right. Whoa, it disappeared. What? What? It just disappeared. What? I'm so confused. And it was heading towards me, so it's not like it went out of render distance. Did one of my arrows hit it? But I didn't hear it die either. What just happened? Okay then? Ah! Oh gosh, that was so loud. That was so loud on my end. Oh. Okay, well, we've officially been to all the biomes. Coolios. Any magma cubes you want to just come here real quick for just a quick little murder? That gave me a heart attack. I thought like the game was crashing or something. Oh, it's fun. That's fun. Oh, I don't really want to be in here with all the lava. I don't see any magma cubes. Okay, how do I leave? Just don't want to go too deep into Basalt Delta without fire res, just because I'm more worried about the lava than anything else. Come on. A bunch of little ones. Now this is where it gets a little dangerous. We don't want too many of these guys at once, because they're very quantity over quality kind of mobs. So the problem is these guys can do a lot of, not much damage on their own, but they just multiply the damage a lot. Between, oh, there's magma cream. Like, if 8 of them are spamming at once, it gets to be a lot. I'm about to do something maybe a little dumb. Yeah. This might be overkill since I proc 4 now, but let's just be safe. Nope, in here. Nope, that did 2 hearts of damage on a hit. Nope, I'm right to do this. Nope. Oop, Pearl. Got it. No, I was right to do that. That did 2 hearts of damage per hit, and those guys can hit a lot. Chilling with the bees for some wax. Now we need to do a quick survey to find some volunteers. Who wants to go on a field trip for some full-time employment with benefits? If you're interested, please hop into the boat. Excellent. I will now show you guys to our orientation room. Everything will be perfectly safe. Looks like the ride gave them some motion sickness. They're green in the face, but don't worry, healthcare is included. Might as well do some re-rolling for some good enchants, mainly mending. Oh, mending. Let's lock it in. So this mending is cheaper, but we already have a mending locked in with the other villager. Would it be funny for the bit if I just made all 3 of these guys mending villagers? I'm not going to do it because we really need someone that can make emeralds instead of making us spend emeralds, but like the thought crossed my mind for just a second. It's unbreaking 3 and paper. I think this is the one, people. Time to save our tools and armor. And that should do it. We are all mended up. Everything has mending. Except for this, because it's an infinity bow. Now, normally I don't make this until later game, but not gonna lie, we could really use one of these. Especially since we have a Silk Touch axe now. So this will be quite helpful for us to just basically double our inventory. We have everything we need, so let's get building. Fun fact, this iron farm is a modified version of the starter home that I was doing in the non-hardcore survival worlds that led up to this world. Which is fitting considering I typically make an iron farm long before a starter home and even longer before my first diamond is mined. Hardcore were playing like cowards, so we did not do that. For those of you keeping track of the lore of how this channel was made, that means I was designing this starter house originally back in November 2025, which means the new season of Dimension 20 was coming out at the time, and I was very inspired by their setting. It was very steampunk, everyone was living on an airship and traveling together to other dimensions and worlds. So we're essentially making an airship today. Here's the frame of the boat portion. We'll fill in a bit more while being extremely careful to spawn-proof. I'm also doing spruce instead of the jungle on the bottom, just to kind of give it more of a shadow effect, because the bottom should be darker than the top. we have enough construction done for the villagers to move in. I'll go check in with Susan. So, Susan, maybe we just need to establish this is a safe space, free of judgment. Susan, thank you so much for putting down your crossbow. I think we've hit what we call a breakthrough. Maybe you just need a place to live. Although, you might need some space, so we can give you a room of your own. I mean, we also have to think about your roommates. No. How do I get it? No! That happened? We'll make a grave later. Airships are typically a boat portion connected to an air balloon fitted with some kind of metal frame. So we'll make our metal frame out of copper. I guess this is essentially the equivalent of starting a house with a stripped log frame. Now the problem is, in this version, we're gonna probably lose a lot more blocks overboard. Oh dear. Because beforehand, gravity was working with us. Maybe I put some temporary blocks and we break them on the end? Okay, fun fact. Copper bulbs, even if you make them with waxed blocks, they may still oxidize. Cool. Ah! See, this is why we invest in feather falling. I did actually do the math on this build, and even at the highest point to the lowest part of this mountain that I could potentially fall to, without like intentionally trying to go really far down, is survivable with the armor we got. I was very careful in planning this build. Trying to spawn proof it, trying to make sure that even if I fall off, which will happen inevitably as you can tell, it won't kill us. Actually, while I was back there, I should have gotten the other bulb. I'm doing my best. But also, why is this one off slightly? It's off by 1 block. Now, where did I mess up? You see, I was thinking about maybe using Lightmatica to make this easier, but I also quickly learned that using Lightmatica gives me a headache. So it's useful for counting blocks for me, at least, for material gathering, which is nice, which is why I'll keep it. But actually using it to build apparently gives me a headache. So that's a fun thing to learn. So I think what I just did was that is slightly off, and I'm gonna have to go grab each one of these. So I'm not an aerospace engineer, but I do know from paper airplanes that you need a pointy end in the front and fins or wings in the back to make it through air resistance. So we'll put the fins/wings in the back with the copper, and we'll make a slightly pointier front when we do the balloon in a bit. I wanted this balloon to be pretty colorful while spawn-proofable, which means we need slabs and stairs, while also not being able to catch fire. That basically left us with the netherwood with materials that we could currently access. Sorry, we're not doing prismarine right now. And then just very temporarily, we're putting these slabs in, Because this is actually where the golems are going to spawn, so we don't want this to be spawn-proof, but just so they don't spawn while I'm building. The balloon becomes a bit repetitive after this point, so we'll just time-lapse this. Hi, welcome to another redstone test world where I show you the redstone we do in hardcore, except here it's more organized and less chaotic. Okay, standard golem killer, water leading into lava. Hooked up to some hoppers, which leads to droppers. Dropper is powered by an observer clock, which allows us to have items go up and into the item sorter, which then feeds into this autocrafter circuit, which converts the ingots into blocks. A similar circuit is hooked up for bone meal because when the poppies overflow, it'll become bone meal, which will eventually become bone meal blocks. Normally, I would do bone meal, or I would only do bone meal, but because we have that skelly farm, I think it might be more worth it to have a large amount of these poppies. This does mean if anything that's not compostable or iron ingots goes into this farm, it will break very quickly. That being said, I don't think we have any dangers of that because cats don't spawn until you have 5 villagers and we only have 3. That being said, if we ever want to expand the villager numbers in the farm to make the farm go faster, we obviously will have to account for the occasional string. Eventually, we'll get an elytra, so we'll also want a ladder going from the top of the balloon to here. And after building all that redstone, we make a wall to hide the redstone. We can turn the farm on now, but we're not going to be hearing much because I'm keeping all the mobs on silence, because otherwise it's going to be very loud. We can hide the redstone and give the villagers some light real quick. Now we can do a cozy interior for the villagers. I'm thinking a functional kitchen with stoves, ovens, sink, a backsplash for said sink, a cutting board, and a cozy lounge area for them to read or listen to music. And obviously, so these villagers aren't truly trapped on the airship, they need to be able to control the airship, which means we give them a steering wheel. Now, I think I can accomplish this with an armored stand stuff, but I've never done that before, so let's see how long that takes. There we go. Now for some colorful buttons, and of course, the prindle. If you don't know what a prindle is, go look it up. They can also use the buttons to listen to am and voom. Now, you might have noticed that there's nothing really connecting the balloon to the boat portions, and fear not, we have eggs! I somehow ran out of eggs. Let me go consult the carton. We need lightning rods. Wilbur might be chill with us if he becomes a zombified piglin, but these guys are gonna become witches and try to kill us. So, yeah. Last but not least, the balloon could use a little texture. Okay, I think we've reached the point in this build that we can call it complete, which means we can update our maps. And I just want to point something out. I did get rid of our temporary orientation room setup because we're not really going to be using it much, and it was temporary. That being said, Egghead's still here. Because there are a couple things a zombie is useful for, functionality-wise. So yeah, okay, map time. Look at that. We have an update. And it's quite big. Nice. Honestly, I really enjoy this build. It's probably my favorite I've done so far in this world. There's just the mix of the challenge to try to make it functional while also looking pretty and hospitable for the villagers. There's the fact that it's inspired by a Dimension 20 season that I really like. And overall, it is the build I put the most planning into, because the starter home, I largely just knew I was going to do a tree, and that was it. And the spawner room, I basically just made it up as I went, which I think might have become a bit apparent with how the editing process went. But hey, sometimes that happens in Minecraft. Okay, I think we might have actually accomplished our goals from the beginning, because these guys have healthcare, they have basic living accommodations, they can go anywhere in the world because of this lovely airship that they're living in. I'd say they have some pretty good working conditions, don't you think? And living conditions. Also, look at this view. It's so nice. It's also becoming nighttime, which I think is a sign that we might want to sign off for the day. So everyone, I hope you had a great time while you're here. Hope you have a lovely day. And if you're still here, please like, comment, and/or subscribe because it helps me out so much. Bye-bye. Bye.